So, well, students, good evening to all of you. So, today is our exam preparation class of paper 3, Learning and Teaching, according to Kurukshetra University. So, guys, I hope you are, giving your exams well. And most of the time you have seen that, last year exam is repeating. Okay. So, guys, I'm going to start my class. This is your last year paper. Okay. Learning and Teaching, right? So you can see the questions, what the question has come. So in a first compulsory part, it's a very easy question has come. The one is instruction. You have to define the instruction. Then collaborative learning. You are well aware that because we have discussed many times. Brainstorming, we have already discussed. And educational implications of Bandura's learning theory. Right, guys? So can you tell me, what is the Bandura's learning theory? So talks about the social learning theory of Bandura, right? So observations, Bandura says that, student learn from the observation as well as cognitive ability, right? And unit 1 may, you just see that, question has come on the individual difference, right? You have to tell the individual difference, right, guys? Dimensions of individual difference and then educational implications, right? So it is, again, it's an easy one. Okay, you know that. And third question is highlight the role of teacher in relations to the learning strategies. You know that learning strategies, peer tutoring, right? Group learning, collaborative learning, these all the things. Okay. So you have to tell, first of all, you have to define about the peer tutoring. Okay. And then what is the role of teacher in peer tutoring and as well as the group learning, right, guys? Okay, in unit 2, please see the questions number 4. Question number 4, there are, 2 or 3 theories now in your syllabus. 2 theories have come. One theory has come of classical conditioning theory. You know that this theory is given by the Pavlov, right? What dog experiment wali, right? It was given by the Ivan Pavlov. Okay, and the second theory is the trial and error theory. Okay, it was given by the Thorndike. Okay, so first we see our paper. Then I have made a I have sold the paper for you. Then we will switch to the our Word file. Okay, where I will explain to you. Right, guys? So trial and error theory. So guys, I have already told you many times, you have to read the question once, twice, okay, what the question asks, then you have to write. For example, please see these questions, number 5th. Okay, but in this questions, what you have to write? It is talking about describe in detail concept of trial and error theory of learning along with its educational implications. Okay. So no doubt you have to give stress on the educational implications. Okay. But under the trial and error theory, you have to define the theory. Okay. Little bit of, half page. You can talk about the experiment of cat. Okay. Then laws of learning is most important, guys. Okay. In trial and error theory, laws of learning, 3 laws, right? You have to write the 3 laws. Okay. Then you have to define the educational implication. Okay. Similarly, see the questions number 4. If the classical conditioning theory come, okay, then what you have to define? You have to define the classical conditioning theory. You can define the experiment, and the most important part is, you can make the diagram or you can explain, okay, regarding the once the stimulus is given or dogs get the response. Okay, so we will explain in our Word file. Okay, after seeing this questions paper, I jump to my Word file where I have explained all the questions for you. Okay, this is our exam preparation class of paper 3. You know that basically we discuss the last year paper and rest of the syllabus in our exam preparation class, right, guys? Okay, then we move to the unit 3, question number 6. Question number 6 is, what is teaching? explain features and levels of teaching. So again, it has come a very easy one, guys. You have to talk about the teaching. What is teaching? Okay. Then you have to talk about the features of the teaching, right? Like, matter of draw out. Teaching is a, multipolar process. Okay. All of the features of the teaching. And the most important is the level of teaching. Okay. So three things you have to define in this questions. The level of a teaching, you know that there are three levels of a teaching, na? Memory level, understanding level, or reflective level. Okay. Seventh question, discuss in detail different variables in the teaching process with the help of a suitable example. So variables you have to define. Okay. Either, in this you can talk about the independent variable, dependent, or intervening variable. But most in detail you have to define about the learning task, learner's behavior, which is called the entry behavior, and the teacher's behavior. Okay, we will discuss in our word file. Okay, the last unit is a unit 4. Unit 4 is talking about models of teaching, right? The simple model has come. There are two models now. One is a Glazer model, and the second is a concept attainment model. So it has come the Glazer model of teaching. So it is talking about define the models of teaching. Then you have to define the basic components of Glazer's teaching model, right? And ninth question, he has divided into the two parts. Okay, 8 or 8. One is preactive phase of teaching. You know that, planning phase. Okay, you have to talk about all the planning when the teacher plans before going into the class. He plans about the content to be taught. He plans about the method to be applied. He talked about, this is called the planning phase, basically preactive phase. There are three phases of the teaching now. What is preactive phase? Second is interactive phase, and last is post-active phase. Okay, this is called the evaluation phase. And the B part is the remedial teaching and enrichment program. Okay, remedial teaching, you know that. Okay, this is a teaching strategy. So guys, this is your learning and teaching paper. Okay, so okay, we also side by side we see the syllabus also. This is our KU complete syllabus. Okay, so this one, okay, syllabus has opened. So we see our syllabus also, guys. Contemporary India, and second is 15. Okay, so this is your syllabus, right? Learning and teaching. I think it is readable to all of you. I have increased the font size. Okay, so it has started from here. This is a unit 1. Okay, learning. Under the learning, concept, nature, types of learning, and factors influencing learning. Okay, learning strategy, cooperative learning, collaborative, peer tutoring. ये देखिए, peer tutoring question has come and the group learning has come. Okay, and the one question has come from the individual differences, right? In the last year paper. So almost 2 questions are coming from here, and from here. Okay, 2 questions are coming. And in a second unit, there are 3 theories. In fact, there are 4 theories of learning. One is trial and error theory. Okay. Second is classical conditioning theory. Okay, guys. Third is operant conditioning theory. So there is a difference between, okay. Classical conditioning theory, it was given by the Pavlov. Okay, Ivan Pavlov. Okay. And the operant conditioning theory, it was given by the Skinner. Okay. Pigeon, experiment on the pigeon. And under the Pavlov, he experimented on dog. Okay, and the last theory is social constructive theory, Vygotsky and Bandura, right? So guys, out of 4 theories, trial and error theory and classical conditioning theory has come in your, last year paper. So if you do the, three theories from here, okay, so 2 questions you will get from the unit 2 also, right? And number 3rd, teaching concept, characteristics, features and levels of teaching. Okay, you can do this. Concepts of teaching, related concept of a teaching. It's an easy one. Training, conditioning, instruction, indoctrinations, right? And the variables are gaya, variables of teaching. This question has come. And last is social constructive theory again. Okay, so here means after discussing our whole paper now, we will again, come to our syllabus and we will, I'll tell you the, important questions which you can do that. Okay, guys. And the number 4 is phase and models of teaching. All the 3 phases has come: preactive, interactive, and post-active. Okay. And under the teaching model, there are 2 teaching model. One is Glazer teaching model, and one is Brunner. It was given by the Brunner. The name of model is CAM, Concept Attainment Model. We have discussed in the class. And last is teaching strategies. We have already discussed in detail in the class about the teaching strategies. Okay, if you remember, brainstorming, simulations, role playing, remedial teaching and enrichment program, right? So, okay, guys, side by side, I open the paper. Okay. And I open the Word file where I have solved the last year paper for you and some of the additional notes, right? So I'm going to open the file. So this is your, solved paper, right, guys? Paper 3, this is solved. Okay. So first question is come of instructions, okay, we close our syllabus because both are opening. Okay, the first question is a instruction. Okay, second is collaborative learning, third brainstorming, and fourth is educational implications of Bandura's learning. Okay, so guys, ye instructions, I have made in notes for you. Okay, very swiftly I'll discuss little bit of this because we have already discussed everything. Okay, so instruction, guys, that what is the meaning of that basically? So meaning of it that basically it is a synonym of education. Okay, there are a lot of a synonym of education like teaching. Sometimes we feel that we assume that teaching is education, but teaching is not education. Sometimes we assume that indoctrination is education. Sometimes we assume that instruction is education. Okay, sometimes we think that training is an education, but these are not education. In fact, these are the part of the education, right? When you talk about instruction, when you talk about teaching, when you talk about training, when you talk about indoctrination, okay, these are the part of the education. Education is a big word. Education is a very comprehensive word. Okay, education basically, guys, it never ends. Okay, what is the definition of education? It starts from the birth and goes till death. Means आदमी मर जाता है, education never dies. Okay, the whole life is an education. Okay, from womb to tomb, from cradle to grave. This is a education. So instruction. So here you can define that instruction means, suppose we give a instruction. Instruction is a pre-planned activity. Instruction, for example, we give the instruction to the computer on a particular this thing. So instruction is given by the some instructor. Okay, the duration of a instruction is a less, it is not a long life, it doesn't go up to the life. But education is a big word. Education goes up to the up to the death. In fact, up to the from birth to death. Okay, it continues goes up to the death, right? Because there is a a person learns everything every moment. Okay, so keeping in view that, keeping the word education in your mind, you have to define the instruction. Okay, guys, I think you have come to know about it. Okay, this question, this has come from from that part. Okay, you can see that. Okay, I show you. I open your syllabus so that you will come to know that, okay, from where, this has come instruction. So it has come from, it is on 15. Okay. Now see guys, this is your learning and teaching, na? This, okay. This is the unit 3. See the unit 3. This is a unit 3, na? Ye dekhiye. Related concepts. Training, condition, instructions, and doctrinations. Okay. So, it has come instruction. Okay. It can come condition, conditioning. Okay. It can come, might come, na? Hana? It can come training, right? It can come indoctrinations. Okay. So I have defined all the things. Okay. You know that. So instructions we have done that. Characteristics of instructions, it is a pre-planned activity. It helps in giving knowledge systematically, right? The process of instruction goes on a specific context only. Okay. So about the instructions we are done. Next, collaborative learning. Okay, collaborative learning, you know that it is an educational approach of using groups to enhance learning through working together. This is a collaborative. Another name is given collaborative, means more than one group when they work on any of the project. Suppose innovative of innovations of a new product, some of the groups they are working together. This is called the collaborative learning, right guys? So easy notes I have made for you about the collaborative learning. Okay, so these are the advantages of a collaborative learning and some of the examples of a collaborative learning. Okay, for example, problem solving across team, developing new products. Okay, so these are some of the example of a collaborative learning you can define under the collaborative learning, right? Okay, the C part was brainstorming. Okay, brainstorming basically a strategy or a tool of a teaching. These are called the teaching strategies. Brainstorming, okay, enrichment programs, gaming, these all are the teaching strategies. So brainstorming is a kind of a teaching strategy in which teachers gives some project to the student, and and he allows the students to think upon particular particular problem. Okay, he gives a one problem in front of the students and side by side, okay, when the student brainstorm, they discuss with one another. So in this kind of teaching strategy, teacher acts as a facilitator, right guys? So you have to define about the brainstorming. I have made a easy notes for you for the brainstorming, right? So means I have defined here, no idea is right or wrong. What happens in the brainstorming, every idea is taking care of that. Okay, so just you have to give any of the idea, right? So basically with the help of a brainstorming, our thought process expands, right? So this is a kind of a teaching strategies. Okay, these are the nature characteristics of the brainstorming. Okay, you can define under a, these are the short questions now. The last one is the educational implications of a Bandura's theory of learning. Okay, you can see in the questions paper. This is the questions paper. Instructions we are done, collaborative done, brainstorming done, and D is the educational implications of a Bandura's learning, right guys? So Bandura learning theory, you know that it is a social learning theory. So Bandura, he was Albert Bandura, he was a educationist, he was a psychologist. He emphasizes the importance of observing, modeling, and imitating the behavior, attitude, and emotional reactions of others. Under the social learning theory, Bandura wants to say that both environmental as well as cognitive factor interact to influence human learning and behavior, right guys? So it talks about both the things. Okay, matlab you are done the Piaget theory. Piaget theory talks about the cognitive development. One more theory, it also talks about the cognitive development. But Bandura has said that along with the cognitive development, environment also plays a important role to influence the human learning and behavior, right? It is also called the social learning theory, right? So these are the educational implications of a Bandura learning. Okay, I have made a educational implications of a Bandura learning in a easy way, right, guys? So how Bandura social learning theory, is implicable into the classroom also, right? Implications in the classroom of Bandura's learning theory. Okay, I will also define some of the points, right, guys? So four short questions we are done. Okay, according to the last year paper. Okay, guys. Next is second questions. Our second question is unit 1 में individual difference, talks about the individual difference. Okay, right? So individual difference means that no two persons are alike. Matlab they are different from their attitude, their aptitude, everything, emotions, right? Even the twins can be different. They have the different pattern of a thinking, they have the different attitude, they have the different attitude, right? So color, complexion, strength, height, weight, everything I have defined about the individual difference. Okay, then dimensions of the individual difference means how domains of individual difference, basically, right? So they can differ in the cognitive abilities, they can differ in the specific abilities, okay, preferences, right, personalities, they can differ. And then in last, it was talking about educational implications of an individual difference. So these are the educational implications. Okay, always remember, educational implication of an individual difference means what is the meaning of that? Meaning of that is when the teacher has to teach to the student, matlab he should have keep in the mind, if he is teaching to the 30 students, okay, so he should keep in the mind 30 students have a different level of a thinking. Okay, they are the different. Okay, means they should not use one method of a teaching same for all the person, because class is a, you can say, it is a collection of many students who are average, who are below average, and who are intelligent. Okay, class mein what happens, some are intelligent, some are average, some are below average, but there is an individual difference. Teacher should prepare the lecture in a particular way so that it should be easily understood to the average level student, below average level student, and intelligent students. Okay, so keeping in the view curriculum, method of a teaching, okay, he should change according to the individual differences, right? So these all are the educational implications of individual differences, right, guys? So I've defined. Okay, our third question is highlight the role of a teacher in relation to the learning strategies, peer tutoring and group learning. Okay, so under a peer tutoring, that it is a way of helping the students who are disabled under the peer tutoring. These are the advantages of a peer tutoring. And then role of a teacher in peer tutoring. So I have defined what is the role of a teacher, as well as group learning. Okay, it is again easy one. It is a learning strategy and role of a teacher in the group learning, right, guys? Okay, the fourth question is, okay, you can see in the last year paper also. Okay, we are done second, we are done third. The fourth is talking about classical conditioning, and fifth is trial and error, about the trial and error learning theory. Okay, guys, so ye dekho, just see, explain classical conditioning theory of learning, discuss its educational implications with the help of an example, right, guys? So when this theory comes, okay, so either that there are 4 theories in your syllabus now under a unit second. One is classical conditioning, one is trial and error theory, one is operant conditioning theory, which was given by the Skinner, and fourth is why God sky theory. There are four theories. So two theories has come. So when any of the theory comes, first of all, you have to define about the theory, what the theory says, right? This is a classical conditioning theory. So guys, first of all, you have to define classical conditioning theory. It is a theory. It was given by the, Russian psychologist Ivan Pavlov. According to the Pavlov, learning happens through conditioning. Okay, this thing you have to highlight, even you have to underline. Okay, suppose in the case of a trial and error, you have to define under the trial and error. According to the trial and error theory, the Thorndike says that learning takes place by trial and error, right? Similarly, under this theory, first line, it should be, according to the Ivan Pavlov, classical conditioning theory says that learning takes place by conditioning. Okay, so you can underline it. So it is also called the Pavlovian theory, condition response theory, condition reflex theory, respondent condition theory. Okay, so assumptions kya hai? You can write the assumptions of this theory, hai na? We have already discussed. You can explain the experiment on dog. Okay, laws of conditioning you can define. Okay, right? You know that na? Hai na? Many times I have explained you, right? If you can make this model, you can make that model. Okay, otherwise explain this laws of conditioning, right? Then educational implication, you have to define. It is very much important, guys. In every theory, educational implication is most important. It plays a very important role. Okay, so under a conditioning theory, you know that, fear, love, hatred, these all you can condition the students so that, they can learn. Okay, so educational implications of a theory you have to define, right? Next is fifth question is a trial and error theory. Trial and error theory with its educational implications. Okay, so first you have to define, it was developed by the American psychologist, E.L. Thorndike, okay, in 1898. Okay, this is also called pleasure and pain theory, stimulus response theory, bond theory of a learning. So according to the Thorndike, learning takes place through trial and error method, right? Means under this theory, Thorndike wants to say that people learn by trial and error. वो गलतियां करते हैं और सीखते हैं, right? So what are the basic principles of a trial and error theory? You can write. Okay, you can define the experiment by the Thorndike. Okay, so here cat experiment. Okay, you have to remember cat experiment is associated with the Thorndike theory, trial and error theory. Dog experiment is connected with the Ivan Pavlov theory, classical conditioning theory, or pigeon experiment is connected with the Skinner's theory. Okay, so you can define for only for the 8 or 10 lines. Okay, not to the 2 pages. Okay, sometimes students define the cat experiment because they know that other parts are little bit difficult. Okay, they learn the easy part, dog experiment in the case of a classical conditioning, and cat experiment in the case of a Thorndike, or they explain of the cat experiment up to the 2 pages. You don't have to do this thing. Okay, you have to define only the half page. Okay, half page, yeah, some of them more than the half pages. Okay, 1/3 page you can define. Okay, about the cat experiment. Okay, but other important things you have to define. For example, first about the theory. Okay, what are the basic principles? Make the heading. Okay, like that. Then cat experiment. Okay, then you have to talk about factor involved in the trial and error theory. Then you have to make heading laws of learning. There are 3 laws na: law of readiness, law of exercise, law of effect. Okay, then you have to make the heading educational implication. So dekho, under a one theory you have made a 5 or 6 headings. Okay, similarly under a conditioning theory you have to make the 5 or 6. Under a Skinner's theory या why God sky. Okay, so guys, out of a 4, if you do the 3 theories na, so definitely you will get the 2 questions from this theory also, because in here in this year you have to do the any of the 5 questions. Okay, means there is no foundation of sections. Okay, earlier you were bound to do the 1 questions from each section, but now this time it is you can define any of the 5 questions, right guys? So then you have to define about the educational implications of that theory. Okay, so next is next question is what is teaching, right? So regarding about what is teaching, and explain the features of teaching and level of teaching in the details. Okay, the 6 questions. Okay, this question has, if this question comes, because if you see the syllabus now, it is also given either teaching, either features or levels of the teaching. So first of all, you have to define about the teaching. Teaching is an interactional process. Okay, this interaction happens among the teacher, learners, and the learning material, right guys? Agar if it is possible na guys, so you can write one definition at least, if you can learn. Okay, so teaching ki there is a one famous definition which was given by the B.O. Smith. Okay, teaching is a system of activities intended to induce learning, which was given by the B.O. Smith. Okay, so this is the definitions of it. It is a system of actions intended to induce learning, right? Okay, so then you have to define the characteristics of the teaching. Teaching is an interactional process, matter of drawing out, causing to learn, tripolar process, when well-planned activity, art, teaching is a science. So guys, you just have to note the points. Okay, you have to define the points over there, because you can explain very well. Okay, you are good in English, right? You just have to learn the point. Then you have to talk about the levels of teaching. Make the heading levels of a teaching. Define there are 3 levels of a teaching. One is memory level, which is called thoughtless teaching. Second is understanding level, which is called thoughtful teaching. Third is reflective level. It is called upper thoughtful teaching. Okay, memory level teaching, what? Okay, you can explain. Then understanding level of a teaching, you can explain, and then reflective level of a teaching. Okay, so now the question has end. Finish. You have finished the questions. 3 things is asked by the examiner in the question. Define the teaching, explain the features of teaching, and the levels of teaching. Okay guys, done. 7th question is different variables in the teaching process with the help of a suitable example. Okay, you can do from the book also. Okay, this is a very good note is given in the book. Okay, so early you can define the independent, dependent, or intervening level. Okay, but you have to focus on here these 3. Okay, please note it. If this questions come, define the variables in teaching process. So you have to define learning, learner's behavior, or teacher's behavior. Okay, for this, right? And 8th question, what do you understand by the models of teaching? Explain the components of the Glazer's teaching model, right? So first, I have made a note for you, models of teaching. Already we have discussed in the class also. What is a model of a teaching? Model of a teaching basically is a blueprint of a teaching activities. What the teacher has to do. And basically, it is a pattern or a plan which can be taken to shape the curriculum or course to the select instructional material and to guide to the teacher's action. This is for teachers. ये teachers के लिए होते हैं, right? Teaching models, okay? Means how the teacher proceed, okay? Which method teacher has to use. So then these are the components of a models of a teaching. That 6 components, focus, syntax, principles of reaction, social system, support system, and applications. Okay. Then these components, okay, you have to explain, according to the Glazer's teaching model. Okay, how the focus, syntax, social system, principle of reaction, support system, and applications. Okay, then again, I have little bit defined about the utility of teaching models. Okay, right? So you can define about the, what is the utility of teaching models in teaching. Okay, the last question is write a short note on the following: preactive phase of teaching, and then second, I think it is remedial teaching, right? So preactive, guys, you know that it has come from the question, three phases of the teaching. One is a preactive, one interactive, and another is a post-active. So first is a preactive phase of a teaching. Basically, this is a such phase of a teaching where planning happens. Okay, teacher beforehand going into the class, he plans. So under the preactive phase, you have to define, as the name suggests, planning how to teach is done in this phase. Okay, so what the teacher does: identifying the objective of the chapter, deciding the teaching method, identifying the available teaching tools. Moreover, he selects the content, organize the content, identifying the problem, justifying the objectives. Okay, and these are the steps. Kya steps hain: selections of a content, right? Sequencing, identification, instructional methodology, and determining the usage of teaching strategies, right? So you talk about the under a, preactive phase, you have to talk about all the planning done by the teacher before going into the class. Okay, so everything you have to define under the preactive phase, which is a planning phase of the teacher, right? And second is the remedial teaching and the enrichment program. Okay, remedial teaching, you know that it is in effect ana remedy, either whosoever the persons, remedial teaching always works is a very useful for every kind of a student. Then the purpose of a remedial teaching, right? And advantages of a remedial teaching. Okay, you can define, and the features of a remedial teaching. Okay, it is a easy one. So guys, whole of the paper we have discussed. Okay, you can see that in this is your paper, right? In the compulsory note, instructions we are done, collaborative done, brainstorming we are discussed, educational implications of a Bandura learning theory we have discussed. Unit 1 may we have discussed about individual differences. Okay, and third is highlight the role of a teacher in relating to the teaching learning strategies. Two learning strategies has given: peer tutoring and group learning. Okay, unit 2 ke andar we have talked about two theories. One is classical conditioning theory, one is trial and error theory. Okay, and unit 3 may we talked about what is teaching, explain the features and level of teaching. Okay, what are the different variables? And unit 4 may we discussed about the models of teaching and write a short note on preactive phase of teaching and remedial teaching and enrichment program. Okay, so last year paper we have discussed. Now we move to the syllabus. Okay, and I tell you the what are the important questions you have to do along with this question paper. Okay, this question paper so you have to do number 1, and second, in the syllabus what you have to do, you can note it, guys. Okay, I'm going to open the syllabus. So this is your syllabus. Okay, so in a section 1 you have to do number 1, first part you have to do. This is a very easy, right? What is a learning, nature, types and factors influencing learning? It is a very simple. What are the factors which is influencing the learning? Age factor, nutrition factor, there are a lot of factors and you can define. So this first you have to do. This is the important questions I am telling you, which you have to prepare for your final exam. And second, learning strategy. Okay, cooperative learning, collaborative, peer tutoring, group learning. ये देखो two learning strategy तो we are done, right? You can see from the notes, two you have to do, cooperative and collaborative, right? Because both are same, na, basically. Cooperative, basically it is a part of the collaborative, right? You can see there is a very minor difference between the collaborative and cooperative, right? So one you can do this, second you can do this. Okay, and one is individual difference we have already done. So in a section 1, when you do this first part and second part, this one, and third do individual differences. Okay, So 2 questions have prepared, right? Now we move to the second unit. Second unit mein there are 4 theories. Out of the 4 theories, we are done trial and error and classical conditioning theory. Hana? I have made a notes for you. Okay. So rest you can do the operand conditioning theory. And Vygotsky and Bandura theory, right? So if you do the 2 theory, this one, so 2 questions you are done. So 4 questions so aapko you are done from here. 1 questions, compulsory questions you can do. So your 100% attemptation has done by completing even the 2 units. Okay, but we have to do some of the part from the 3rd unit and 4th unit, guys. Okay. In the 3rd unit, guys, what you have to do first wala part. Okay, just see it. Okay, it is a very simple. You have to do teaching, characteristics, features, and levels. Bus 3 levels are memory, understanding, and reflective. Done. And second, related concept wala ye kar lo. Training, conditioning, instruction, and indoctrinations. Okay, it is a simple one, right? You can do it. Okay. I just want to tell you one thing. Just see it in the 2nd unit. There is a one theory, social constructive theory, Vygotsky and Bandura. If you do this so automatically you can do this part also. Unit 3rd, social constructive approach in teaching. Ye dekho, applications of a Brunner, Ausubel, and Vygotsky. Right? Ye both are same. This one, unit 2, this is same and this is same. Okay, guys. So 2 questions you are covering from 3rd unit also. 6 questions you have covered. Okay, and 7th you can do this phase of teaching, preactive, interactive, and post-active. Okay, but I don't think so. It long question it would come. Okay, long questions from the 4th unit it can come from the teaching models. One, it would come either Glazer teaching model, either concept attainment teaching model, right? And one long questions would come from the teaching strategies. Okay, guys. So this part, phase of teaching, preactive, interactive, and post-active, you have to prepare for the short answers. Okay, the long question it will never come. Okay, I don't think so, because you cannot stretch even answers are very small. Okay, so I don't think the long questions would come. Long questions would come from these 2 parts. Okay, either this or either this. Okay, so you can do from the Glazer teaching model. Okay, and do all the teaching strategies. Okay, if you want to skip concept attainment model. Okay, right? So do the Glazer teaching model and all the teaching strategies and phase of teaching, right? So around means only we have to attempt 5 questions, but in our syllabus we have done the approximate 8 or 9 questions. Okay, so we are very much sure that 5 questions easily we can attempt it, right, guys? So we have discussed the last year paper, we have discussed the syllabus, and rest of the part we have discussed. Okay, guys, thank you so much for today's class. If you have any questions, you can discuss with me. Yes, guys, otherwise I'm going to stop the recording. Okay, guys, I'm going to stop the recording.